Hello, everyone. Welcome to tonight's 30-minute growth session. I'm Dr. Lisa L. Campbell, the growth motivator, where I help individuals and organizations shed the weight that's holding them hostage. I want to take you back to last week. If you didn't have a chance to watch last week, it was so powerful. It was about a young woman who grew up thinking that she wasn't enough. Her own mother said to her that she wasn't smart enough. She went through many trials and tribulations, and today she is a proud mother, wife, and even holds a doctorate degree. Additionally, she's doing something she never thought she would do, and that's standing in front of individuals, teaching them to become the next generation of healthcare professionals. Whoa. Healthcare today is changing. And I want to start off by asking you a question. Are you going or will you be left behind? Artificial intelligence, machine learning, those tools, and I said tools, are here to stay. But what you do with them, what you allow them to do for you, is up to you. Tonight, we're going to be talking about developing your brand, your personal brand, your professional brand. You can no longer allow others, individuals, organizations to define who you are. You must establish that. I want to walk you through 10 areas for consideration in developing your personal brand. You may be wondering, why do you need a personal brand? If you Google me, Dr. Lisa L. Campbell, I'm going to come up across multiple Google pages. Why? I've spent years developing my brand. So let's start with number one. I want you to take a moment and do a self reflection. And sometimes, looking at self, it can be a little scary. So I want you to think about what motivates you. Why do you do what you do today? What do you want to be known for 5, 10, 15 years from now? And I'll use myself as an example. I teach medical coding. I am a medical coder, and many individuals know me for medical coding. If you've ever heard me talk about medical coding, type coding in the chat. I have a YouTube channel, and while it wasn't my intention to grow the channel, I just operated in one of my zones of genius, and the chapter continues to grow. And what chapter? The chapter of my life. So the reason that I have these plants here today is because I want you to surround yourself with things that grow, things that help you be a better version of yourself. So number one, I want you to do a self-reflection. What motivates you? What are your values? What do you want to be known for? Number two, what are your goals? What do you desire to do in the next 6 months, 12 months, 5 years? Exactly 1 year ago, I wrote down 3 goals that I wanted to achieve by November 2023. I am happy to report that 2 of the three goals I met. One of them was to publish my book, Grow With Me. When you write goals, it's very important that those goals are SMART goals. They have to be specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, and then timely. There's lots of articles on the internet today about SMART goals. I challenge you today to start to think about your plan for growth. All right, number 3. Where do you want to work in the future? And you may be saying to yourself, my future self wants to work where I am working today. What if that organization has a reduction in staff and you are impacted? What happens the morning after? Are you in the bed crying and trying to figure things out? My guest last week, Dr. Rodville, talked about how she experienced loss of a job. And for a little while, she was lost. Once she picked herself off the ground, she found that there was more work than she could even handle. But instead of allowing yourself to be a part of a reduction in workforce and not have a backup plan, also known as the B plan, now is the time to create that plan. The world is changing daily. Financially, many of us are struggling, me included. The things that I used to be able to afford to do, I can no longer do them. However, I have a B plan, a C plan, and honestly, even a D plan. So I want you to think about, where do you want to work in the future? It is time for you to become comfortable being uncomfortable. I'm personally in that space right now. And you probably are wondering how. Well, number one, if you noticed, I changed my hairstyle. Definitely not a hairstyle that I would typically wear, but I am fortunate to be traveling overseas the next couple of weeks for speaking engagements. And it's going to be pretty warm there. So I decided maybe I should look the part of a Caribbean speaker. And so voila, I'm comfortable being uncomfortable. When you are uncomfortable, that's when the growth starts to take place. Number 4, I want you to think about what sets you apart from others. In the business world, we call that a differentiator. What separates you from everyone around you? And let me be very clear. I'm not talking about you thinking about who you can compete with. I personally compete with myself. I challenge myself to be a better version of myself a year from now than I am previously. And I have to tell you, this week, I walked into a new phase of my life. And my friends and family will tell you, I call it the preferment stage. Preferment stage is where I'm only doing the things that I prefer to do. So, in addition to this differentiation that you're going to consider, I want you to take out a piece of paper and write down what skills, abilities, expertise make you different. Not make you better than everybody else, but what makes you you. I'll tell you about me. I am authentic. I am transparent. I am a transformational leader. I challenged those around me to grow because growth is an entire vibe. From the time I realized how powerful I was, I started planting seeds in the ground that allowed my growth to just grow, grow, and grow. Other things that I have expertise in: I can educate others. I can take complex material and break it down so that individuals that I'm educating can understand it. It matters not my educational background. When I'm educating others, I'm meeting them where they are. That's one of my skills, talents, and abilities. All right, number five. Now, number five was something that a coach challenged me to do. And the challenge was: ask your friends and family members to identify three words that describe you. Now, I'm going to tell you how I did it. I sent a text message and I said, "Hey, everybody, I'm working with a coach, and she challenged me to have you identify three words about me." I was really in shock how others viewed me. These were skills and talents and characteristics that I had been working on for a very long time. And so the fact that individuals said that I was authentic, I was an educator, I was a healthcare professional, I was an inspiration, I was a motivator, were all of the things that I was learning to do. It is critical that you are learning faster than you are growing. And when you get to the place where you desire to be, all the seeds that you've planted are going to grow. You notice how these trees are taller than me? Because as I continue to learn, everything around me begins to grow. Now, is it a perfect process? No. These fake trees fall over. In fact, right before this session, they fell over and I had to readjust them. In life, there are going to be times when you need to pivot, and don't see it as a negative. Sometimes you got to close one door before another one opens. And when you look behind you, you're like, wow, what took me so long to close the door? Fear, right? In my book, Grow With Me, chapter 12, I talk about faith over fear. There was something that I wanted to do, and I was afraid to do it. And I know you're probably thinking, what's that, Dr. Lisa? You'll have to read Grow With Me to find out. But ask your friends and family members, give you those three words, and just keep a running list. After you have this list, organize them. I use Microsoft Excel so that I can remove the words that were duplicate. And then I use the dictionary to define each and every word because I wanted to know, from an official perspective, what each and every word meant and how others saw me. Now, I will tell you, there are some people who they've said, not to me, they said to other people, "Oh, Dr. Lisa, she's different." And guess what? I like being different. Jeff Bezos is different. Oprah Winfrey is different. Bill Gates is different. All of the influential individuals in the world were different. It was something about the things that they did and how they did them that made them uniquely them. And so when someone says, Lisa, oh, that's just Lisa, she's different. You watch. You're going to look up and you're going to say, I know her. She's the growth motivator. She's different. And I love it. All right. I want you, and now I'm on number 6. Let me just pause. Let me just go over the 5. So, number 1, I wanted you to do a self reflection, right? Number 2, I wanted you to talk about your goals. What are your short term goals? What are your long term goals? Where do you want to work in the future? I know that's a hard one. Where you're working today may not be your retirement job. And the sooner you accept that, the better. I know too many people who didn't take time to plant seeds. They didn't continue to learn. They got comfortable. And then all of a sudden, instead of them making a change, someone made the change for them. And they were left to pick up the pieces. That's a scary place to be. All right. Now, number 4 was your differentiating factors. What makes you different? What skills, talents, and abilities do you have? And I know you may be thinking, well, others have that same ability. But I often say, often imitated, but never duplicated. We each have our own fingerprint. We are each a unique individual. Next, 3 words that describe you. I want to invite you to meet me in Zoom in a few weeks. Watch my social media channels because I want to hear about your brand plan. Are you going or will you be left behind? That's a hard statement to hear. And oftentimes, we make these New Year's resolutions. We're going to lose 10 pounds, and the health clubs are full in January and February. In March, they're ending. Your brand, how you position your brand, your plan for growth should be an ongoing process until you're no longer on this earth. All right, number 6. What are your values? And you may be thinking, well, what do you mean values, right? So for me, one of my values is integrity. And that's such an important value to have in today's world. Number 7, what's your mission statement? Now, I gave you my mission statement earlier. You probably don't remember what it is, so I'll tell you. I am the growth motivator. I help individuals and organizations shed the weight that's holding them hostage. In order to become the growth motivator, I had to shed my own weight. For example, I allowed myself to be held hostage by salary and benefits at a job that really had me in a holding pattern. And if you don't know by now, growth is what I desire. I am a growth seeker. If you're a growth seeker, type in the chat, I'm a growth seeker. And here's the deal. You may be afraid to say that you are a growth seeker, because maybe you're not one now. But speak those things that are not as though they are. Positive affirmations are key. Mission statements are everywhere. If you look at Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts, they got taglines and mission statements. Nike, just do it, right? You want to establish who you are so that others don't have the opportunity to define you. Heavy, heavy, heavy. Number 8, what's your plan for professional development? And I'm not talking about school, because everybody's like, I don't want to go back to school, right? That's the same thing I said. But I find myself on a regular basis at different conferences and educational webinars. And here's my motto: if I walk away with something that I didn't have when I entered that process, I'm winning. Maybe I met someone new. Maybe I heard something that confirmed the journey that I was on and where I was headed. But just one takeaway: professional development is important because, as I've mentioned already, you should be learning faster than you're growing. All right, number 9. This is the one that many people struggle with. And I have a friend who says on a regular basis, I'm not on the Facebook. And I'm not saying that you need to be on Facebook. But if you are a professional who is looking to grow, you have to have some sort of online presence. Why? When you are being considered for an opportunity, believe it or not, one of the things that people do is they go to LinkedIn, right? They just see what you are about. Now, true, what's on LinkedIn and what you put on your profile doesn't give them the full picture of who you are, but it does give them a glimpse into you and helps them make a decision. Do they want to pursue the opportunity further with you? The future is now. It's so critical that you come out of your shell and start to grow. And just plant one seed at a time. Last one: networking. No one's going to know who you are if you stay home. It is critical that you commit to at least one networking opportunity. And I'm gonna make it easy for you. Maybe just once a quarter, once every 3 months. Get out, meet individuals in your industry that you're in currently, or the industry that you want to be in the future. I know it's scary. I know it's scary. And what you have to do is just take the first step. And when you go into these environments, first, you must smile from inside out. There are some days that I am just so exhausted, but I manage to pull out an inner smile that allows me to radiate a room. So when people see me, they say, whoa, I want to work with her. So, last 5 items, right? Number 6, what were your values? 7, your mission statement. 8, professional development. 9, I know that online presence. LinkedIn has lots of videos that you can use to see how you craft your LinkedIn page, what information you put on your page. Maybe you volunteer. People like to work with others that give back, that is doing something that's greater than you are as an individual. And number 10 was about networking. Well, guys, guess what? Today is a little shorter than normal because I have the opportunity to speak in Barbados on Saturday. So I'll be getting on a plane very soon. And guess what I'm going to be doing while I'm there? I'm going to be networking. I'm going to be letting folks know I'm in the building. Oftentimes we say, I just want a seat at the table. I don't need anyone to give me a seat at the table. First, I'm bringing my own table. And second, you don't have to acknowledge that I'm in the room, because when I enter the room, you're going to see me. Because number 1, I'm going to be smiling from inside out. And the first thing I'm going to do is just say hello. Sometimes saying hello opens the door for a conversation that could change your life. Well, guys, I gotta go. This is Dr. Lisa L. Campbell, the growth motivator, and I help individuals and organizations shed the weight that's holding them hostage. Be sure to share this message, like, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Have a great day.